up, guys? Welcome back here to another pick'em game. Today we have week 12 of college football pick'em.
Welcome!
And let's go! Remember, hit that like button, subscribe. If that subscribe button doesn't turn gray, I'm gonna get mad. And you don't want to see me when I'm mad, so just hit that subscribe button. Just do us a big favor. Just take that millisecond of your time, hit that sub button, smash the notifications bell, and let's get into it. Okay, first game, we have San Diego State taking on the UNLV Rebels. Pretty easy game for San Diego State at 9-1, but not the easiest game for UNLV at 2-8. But so let's look at the stats here. San Diego State has averaged 28 points to game, while UNLV has averaged 21 yards per game, 326. That's what San Diego State puts up. But UNLV puts up 313 yards per game. And then San Diego State allows 16 points to their opponents so far this season, and UNLV has allowed 31. Okay, so my pick for this game will be San Diego State taking the win in a pretty easy game versus UNLV, and the score will be 32-10.
Who wins?
San Diego State wins 32-10.
Okay, he just picked 32-10, but San Diego...
30-10.
Okay, anyway, San Diego State. I think they're actually pretty good. When they got ahead of Clemson, that really surprised me because my friend likes Clemson, but San Diego State, I think UNLV is pretty bad. I don't think they're that good. So this game, San Diego State is going to pull it off. Definitely versus the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. I got the Aztecs, if I said it right, winning this one. And then, okay, 35-14.
Okay, next game, we have the Charleston Southern Buccaneers taking on my favorite team, the Georgia Bulldogs. So, Charleston Southern at 3-5 this year, while Georgia, number one team in the country, just go Dogs, at 9-0. Okay, so for the stats here, Charleston Southern has scored 8 points per game, which is very low. However, Georgia on the other side has scored 38 points per game. Yards per game, Charleston Southern has put up 393 yards per game, while Georgia has put up 430. Charleston Southern has allowed 8 points to opponents this year, pretty good, while Georgia has allowed 6 points to their opposing opponents. So I like Georgia this one, honestly, because they're my favorite team, and they're playing Charleston Southern. So it'll probably be a blowout here. So I have them winning 54-6. Let's go Dogs! Oh, I'm sorry. 54-3.
Okay, this guy, I already talked to him. I'm like, Georgia scoring that much? That is not true. Charleston Southern, I don't think they will even get a single point on Georgia. I mean, what I saw, all these past games from Georgia.
Pause. Georgia is actually 10-0. Sorry. Go on.
Okay. Charleston Southern, what I saw from Georgia's last games, when they shut out Arkansas, I think Charleston Southern will also get shut out versus this team. It's going to be a great game. Georgia's going to blow the wind off the Buccaneers. But it's going to be a great one. I think it's going to be a great game. It might be a little closer, a little low scoring, what Cooper said. So I got Georgia taking the dub 45-0.
Okay. Next game. Get out. No. Okay, fine.
Next game
I'll lose that.
we have is Michigan State, who sucks, versus Ohio State Buckeyes. Boo! My favorite team, the Bucks, are gonna pull this off
Pause.
versus Michigan State.
Well, okay, guys. So, put a thumbs down in the comments if you don't like Ohio State. Put a thumbs up in the comments if you like Ohio State. So, I'm expecting very thumbs downs from you guys. Keep it up.
Ohio State, the best team in the world. They're really good. I think their offense is amazing. Their offense is unstoppable. The three-headed monster. their offense, Jackson Smith-Njigba showing some yards. Chris Olave showing the catches. But Garrett Wilson, he's the best out of the three-headed defense. I mean, the three-headed monster. I think Garrett Wilson's really been amazing. Stroud throwing some wonderful, beautiful passes this game. Michigan State, I'm sorry, but if you give up 350 yards to Tua Tagovailoa, Maryland's QB, the whole game, we're going to score that in the first quarter. You better be scared. So Ohio State's going to boat race Michigan State. Michigan State might score some because Ohio State's defense is pretty bad. But I don't think they'll score as much as Purdue scored versus Ohio State. So I feel like Ohio State's going to score like 1 million on Michigan State. But it's going to be a little lower than that. But Ohio State taking the W. 56 to 24.
Okay, that is the dumbest score. That's the dumbest score I've ever seen. So, Ohio State, I mean, their offense is insane. Like he just said, Trayvon Henderson, C.J. Stroud, blah, 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 etc. But Ohio State scored 46 points per game, as Michigan State has scored 34. Ohio State has put up a whopping 550 yards per game, while Michigan State has put up 449. Ohio State's allowed 20 points to their opponents this year for the average, and Michigan State's allowed 22. And then Michigan State has allowed 444 yards to opposing teams, while Ohio State has given up 368 yards to opposing teams. So far, Ohio State has had 8 turnovers, while Michigan State has 13. So I have Ohio State winning. Kenneth Walker Jr., in my opinion, will score.
Walker the third.
Kenneth Walker. Blah blah. I keep messing that up. Sorry, guys. Kenneth Walker the third will score. Will have more than 100 scrimmage yards, receiving or running this game against the sucky Ohio State D. But Ohio State will win.
Kenneth Walker will not get that 100 scrimmage yards. There we go.
Okay. So I have Ohio State winning, but Michigan State will score a few touchdowns against that sucky Ohio State D. So the score will be 45, to 24.
Okay.
Next game we have, let's see here, we have
Iowa State and Oklahoma. If you saw last week, my prediction, Oklahoma losing to Baylor. Let's go! But this week, I'm going to be a little more softer on the Oklahoma fans because Iowa State, they shouldn't have lost. They shouldn't have lost to West Virginia. They shouldn't have lost to Iowa. Those are two bad losses they shouldn't have lost to. Iowa State, I don't think they're the most productive team. So, Oklahoma, I'm sorry, Iowa State fans, but I usually pick the Sooners to lose. But this week, I just think Iowa State's not that good. So, I don't know. It's going to be a okay one. But Oklahoma's going to pull off the win versus Iowa State in a 10-1, 45-35.
Why do you think that Oklahoma will win and then you tell them to lose? Tell me why. Why do you predict Oklahoma to lose? But Iowa State winning, like losing. I mean, Oklahoma, do you think it's going to be a big game for Oklahoma this week after that bounce back? Or do you think they'll bounce back after that loss?
They might bounce back from that loss. I mean, the Oklahoma's coach just going to practice them really well from last week's loss versus Baylor. That didn't look right for them, but I picked that good. So, I think it's going to be a good one. I mean, as you just said, I feel like it's going to be a bounce back for Oklahoma because Iowa State Cyclones are not ready for this. So, Oklahoma, like I said, taking the dub by 10, 45-35. Now you can take it away.
Okay. So, in my opinion, Oklahoma will have this bounce back game versus Iowa State Cyclones. Well, first of all, they're at home, 9-1, coming off that tough loss versus Baylor. However, Iowa State is 6-4. The stats here are, Oklahoma scored 40 points per game as of right now, and then Iowa State has scored 32. So, and Oklahoma has got 455 yards per game, while Iowa State has gotten 434. Oklahoma's allowed 24 points to opposing teams, while Iowa State has allowed 20, so that's a good stat for Iowa State. And Oklahoma's allowed 384 yards to opposing teams this year, while Iowa State has allowed 307 points. And then Oklahoma and Iowa State have had the same amount of turnovers this year with 10. Okay, so I think Oklahoma will have a bounce back game at their home stadium. Caleb Williams will bounce back. Lincoln Riley will coach him up after that last game, like JJ said. So I have Oklahoma winning 38-13. Sorry. 38-17. Okay, next game we have Prairie View A&M, who's taking on Texas A&M. Okay, so Prairie View A&M Panthers at 7-1, pretty good. I never knew they were that good. Well, Texas A&M is at 7-2, winning versus Alabama, losing last week, getting crushed by Ole Miss. But the thing is, I don't know how Prairie View A&M, they've only scored 6 points per game as of now, and while Texas A&M scored 28, but Prairie View A&M has had 370 yards per game, while Texas A&M has had 397, and then Prairie View A&M has allowed opponents to a whopping 4 points per game, while Texas A&M has allowed 14 to opposing teams. And then Prairie View A&M has allowed 252 yards to opposing teams this year, while Texas A&M has allowed 317. They've had the even amount of turnovers here with 13. So that's it. But Prairie View A&M, I don't even know if they're a D1 team or not. But they have a pretty good record, and it looks like they have a pretty solid defense. Not the best offense, though. Okay offense, but not the best. Texas A&M, pretty good this year, pulling off a win versus Alabama, and I have them winning. And the score will be 32-14. Okay.
Prairie View A&M Panthers. I think they're a pretty good team. From their first loss versus Alcorn State. Oh my God! Oh, I'm just choking on that. Then they pull some close ones versus Alabama State, Southern University, Bethlehem Cooking, Arkansas Pine Bluff, Grambling, Houston Baptist, Incarnate Word, and etc. But after that loss, that was embarrassing. So Prairie View, I don't think they can pull it out versus A&M if they lose to Alcorn State. So Prairie View A&M Panthers, I'm just saying to all your Panther fans out there, they suck. Let's go A&M. Let's go A&M this week. I think they're going to bounce back from the loss versus Ole Miss last week. They're going to bounce off. This will be a little closer, a little low scoring game. And it's going to be 38-7.
Okay, there we go. And next game, we have Wake Forest taking on Clemson. Okay, Clemson, pretty good at the start. Ranked 3 in the country in the AP poll at the start of the season, but then lost to Georgia and fell apart from there. So Clemson scored 24 points per game, while Wake Forest has scored 44. And then Wake Forest has had a whopping 498 yards per game, while Clemson has had 344. However, Clemson is favored to win this one. I don't know why. I mean, they are at home, but Wake Forest has been an extremely better team this year. And then Clemson has allowed 15 points to opponents this year, while Wake Forest has allowed 29. And then Clemson has allowed 308 yards to opposing teams, while Wake Forest has allowed a sloppy 440. And Clemson has 2 more turnovers than Wake Forest with 14. Okay. However, Clemson is favored to win at home, which is kind of weird, against Wake Forest, who's 9-1 this year, 12 in the college football playoff thing. Pretty sure, yeah. And so I have Wake Forest winning, even though they're away in Clemson, but I still have them winning. And the score will be, and Clemson is also favored by 4, to be specific, but the score will be 31-24. Wake Forest will pull off it up by a touchdown.
Okay, I think it's going to be a little more high scoring than what Cooper said. The Tigers, I feel like they've been better from the losses early in the season. But the Tigers, I don't know. They might pull it off this week versus Wake Forest. I can't believe I'm saying that. But Clemson's favored by 4, and I might think Clemson could win. I mean, Clemson, I think they're a better team than Wake Forest. I mean, Wake Forest hasn't been showing me any good. So, I I can't believe I might be saying this, but I got Clemson actually pulling it off versus Wake Forest.
At home.
I can't believe this. At home, I think they're going to take the W. So I got the Tigers winning it versus Wake Forest, 35-31.
Ooh, 4-point game. Next game,
Like the
we
favored.
have Purdue taking on Northwestern. Purdue is favored by 11 in this game, and then the stats here are point per game. Northwestern has had 17 points per game, which is fairly low. More, and then Purdue has scored more points per game at 25. Purdue has put up 416 yards per game, while Northwestern has put up 332. Purdue's allowed 22 points so far to their opponents this year, while Northwestern has allowed 26. Purdue has allowed their opponents to have 359 yards per game, while Northwestern a little bit sloppy, or with 422. And then Northwestern has had 19 turnovers, which is almost at 20, which is kind of high. And Purdue has a kind of high turnover margin with 16. Okay, so Northwestern, not really the best team as Purdue. Purdue beating Iowa, losing to Ohio State, but I like Purdue here, away from their home against Northwest at Northwest Wildcats, and Purdue is favored to win by 11, like I said earlier. So the score will be 26-13. Purdue Boilermakers.
Okay, Purdue and Northwestern. Purdue from the last week versus the Buckeyes. That looked okay. I mean, they scored 31 on Ohio State. That's pretty good. So I think Northwestern, they're okay. I mean, they're not the team. They're not the team to lose to. I mean, they're the team to beat. That's the team to beat right there, the Wildcats. I don't think they're really good. Last year they're up and down a lot of years, but I think this week, I think the Boilermakers can pull it off in a blowout. Well, maybe not a blowout, but 35-10. The Boilermakers are gonna roll it. Let's go.
Okay, next game we have the Illinois Fighting Illini. I think that's how it's called.
Fighting Illini,
against the Iowa Hawkeyes. And then, so Iowa's favored to win by 13 points today, while at 8-2, and Illinois is 4-6 this year. Iowa's scored 24 points per game, while Illinois has scored 17. Illinois has put up 318 yards per game, while Iowa has put up 297 yards. Okay, and then Illinois has allowed 21 points to their rivalries enemies this year, while Iowa has allowed 16. Iowa's allowed 314 yards to their opponents, while Illinois has Illinois has allowed 389 yards to their opponents this year. Illinois has a low 9 turnovers this year, while Iowa has had 13. So Iowa at home, coming off of Iowa losing a little games, but then bouncing back. I think they're going to have a good game this game versus Illinois. So I will think Iowa will win, and the score will be 24-10.
Picked Iowa?
Huh?
Iowa and Illinois. Those are some good teams right there. The Fighting Illinois, they're 4-6. I think they're okay. Iowa Hawkeyes, they're obviously better. Or are they? Illinois, with a projected 17 points per game, and Iowa, projected 24 points a game. That is probably going to be a close game then. Iowa's been pulling off close games versus bad teams. They just won some games versus bad teams. In Illinois, I think they're actually better than the Hawkeyes. They are going to be better than the Hawkeyes this game. Illinois, I think they're going to pull it off versus Iowa Hawkeyes this week. I think they're going to pull it off, win it this week. Illinois is going to take the W. It's going to be like a low-scoring game, like 24-20.
You picked Illinois?
Yeah.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen by JJ, besides that Maryland pick to beat Michigan State. That was also dumb. Okay, in the comments, like if you think that's a good pick, dislike if you think that's a bad pick. If I watch this video, I would dislike here because that is not a good pick. But next game, let's move on to next game. Notre Dame taking on Georgia Tech. Notre Dame scored 32 points per game, while now Georgia Tech has scored 28. Georgia Tech has had 401 yards per game, while Notre Dame has scored 396. Notre Dame has allowed 20 points to opposing teams, while Georgia Tech has allowed 30. And then Notre Dame has allowed 362 yards to opposing teams, while Georgia Tech has allowed 449. Notre Dame has had 13 turnovers, even with Georgia Tech at 13. So I have Notre Dame winning this one. I also think they're the better team, favored by 17 this game. So I have Notre Dame taking the W, and the score will be 31-13. Okay, next game. JJ will pick now.
Okay, Georgia Tech, 3-7. What a great record. Notre Dame, they're 9 in the country. They are good, or am I mistaken? I don't know if they are. But Notre Dame, I think they are good. I think they are really good. They're bouncing back a lot of teams since they lost to Cincinnati that week. But Georgia Tech, I think they're pretty productive. I don't know. I think they're going to pull a close one versus Notre Dame. But Notre Dame's still going to take the W by a close one, 32-28.
Okay, next game. Get out of here. We have Arkansas taking on Alabama. Roll Tide. I don't know why I'm saying that because I'm a Georgia fan, but who cares? So Arkansas, pretty good this year. However, Alabama is favored by 20, and so Alabama has scored a whopping 44 points per game, while Arkansas has scored 30. So that's pretty good. Arkansas has had 439 yards per game, while Alabama has had 484. Okay, so next game, Alabama has allowed 18 points to their opponents, while Arkansas has allowed 322. Sorry, and then Alabama's allowed 288 yards to opposing teams, while Arkansas has allowed 346. Alabama has more turnovers than Arkansas this year, with 8, and while Arkansas has 7. I like Alabama here. Obviously the better team. The score will be 45 to 20. Let's go. Tide!
Okay. Bama and Razorbacks. Was it last year? It was supposed to be like a great game. What? I think Alabama's obviously a huge better team than Arkansas. I feel like they're going to blow out the Razorbacks this game. I hate the Razorbacks so much. You don't even know. I don't know why, but I just do. Bama, I feel like they're going to take the W. They are going to pull this off. I think, their Bama's really good with their offense with Jameson Williams and I forget the other
John
guy.
Mechie.
John
Mechie, guys.
John Mechie, who sucks. He's
good.
Oh, okay. Fine. Bama. I feel like they're going to take the W this week versus Arkansas 38 to 17. Bama.
Oh.
Bama,
Okay.
Roll Tide.
Next game, we have SMU taking on Cincinnati. Cincinnati favored by 11 points this game. And then Cincinnati, most like the better team this year. Everybody knows that. With an unbeaten record, mostly played. But the reason I don't think Cincinnati's a good team because they're playing easy teams every single Saturday or Thursday. They play I don't know, Thursday and Saturday sometimes, I don't know. But Cincinnati, pretty good this year with Desmond Ritter. That's pretty good. And then, but also they're at home, so that's going to be a pretty good advantage for Cincinnati. And Cincinnati has scored 39 points per game, while SMU has scored more with 41 points per game. And SMU has put up a whopping 498 yards per game, while since the Bearcats have scored 417 yards, put up 417 yards per game. And then SMU just allowed their opponents to score 25 points per game, while Cincinnati has allowed their opponents to 16 points per game. SMU looks like a sloppy defense with allowing their opponents to have 407 yards per game, while Cincinnati has allowed their opponents to 314 yards per game. Cincinnati has had more turnovers than SMU with 16, while SMU has 15. SMU 8-0, but I think since Cincinnati is at home, honestly, I think they're a better team with Desmond Ritter, so I think Cincinnati will win 32 in the score. Shut. 30-20. 30-20. Okay. Peace out.
Mustangs and Bearcats. The Mustangs are 8-2. The Big Town Bearcats are 10-0. Mustangs, I feel like they would take the dub for Cincinnati this week. But then I thought about it, and it's a little more of a better discussion to Cincinnati to win it. So, I don't know. This is on one side, on the Mustang side, or on one side, on Bearcat side. SMU, I feel like they're a better team. But maybe they aren't. I don't know. I'm on one side, but then I'm on the other side. So I'm going to go with the better team, I feel like, is Cincinnati. But it's going to be a super slight one by like a 1-point game. I feel like the game, Cincinnati versus SMU, the final score would be Cincinnati 28, SMU 27.
Oh, wow. 1-point game. Okay, next game, we have Michigan taking on Maryland. JJ actually picked Maryland to beat Michigan last week. Michigan State last week with the dumbest pick I've ever heard. Michigan favored by 15 points this game, while Maryland has been favored by... No, Maryland... Sorry, I'm not saying words right. Wow, the over-under is 56. And Maryland Terrapins 5-4 this year, while the Wolverines are not 8-1. Maryland has scored 27 points per game, while Michigan has scored 36. Michigan has put up 451 yards per game, while Maryland has put up 429. Michigan has allowed their opponents to score 16 points per game, while Maryland has allowed their opponents to score 30. Michigan's allowed their opponents to have 298 yards per game, while Maryland has allowed their opponents to have 408 yards per game. Michigan with a solid only 7 turnovers this year, while Maryland has had 16. Based on these stats and their record, I have Michigan winning here, and the score will be 31 to 17. Okay, JJ.
Okay, I'm coming. With a lot of fidgets.
Hurry up.
Okay. Michigan Wolverines versus the Maryland Terrapins. I think I'm so dumb. I picked Maryland to win. Oh my god. I picked Maryland to win. How dumb am I? Versus Michigan State. I don't know about me. I'm just dumb. Okay, anyway, Michigan and Maryland. Michigan, I think they're a great team. I don't know why, but their next game, they're going to lose. Definitely. But this game, they're going to win. So, Michigan Wolverines, they're better. So, I got the Wolverines taking the W this week. 38 to 20.
Okay. So, next game, we have Nebraska taking on Wisconsin. In Wisconsin, I think Wisconsin is by far the better team. Over-under is, I'm pretty sure, over-under is, sorry about that. Over-under is, is 42, while Wisconsin's favored by 9.5. Wisconsin 7-3, pretty good record. So I like Wisconsin taking this one. And I don't think Maryland has been a solid offense or defensive. I don't think Nebraska's been a solid defensive or offensive attack. Pretty good though, but I like Wisconsin here. Wisconsin favored to win, like I just said. Wisconsin surprisingly has scored less points than Nebraska this year, with 20 per game, with 26, while Nebraska's put up 28. Wisconsin, the Badgers have put up 390 yards per game, while Nebraska has put up 459, pretty high. And then Wisconsin has scored 14 points per game. Stop it! While has allowed their opponents to score 14 points per game, while Nebraska has allowed 20 points to their opponents. Nebraska, I know, has put up has allowed 363 yards to their opponents, while Wisconsin has put up 216. So I have Wisconsin winning 24-17. Okay. 3 more games.
Okay, Nebraska and Wisconsin. The 3 more games, by the way, will be Nebraska, Wisconsin. Well, I'm going to do that. And then the 2 games are going to be Oregon, Utah, and Baylor, Kansas State.
Sorry, we can't do all this game. We're running short on time, guys.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. Anyway, Nebraska, Wisconsin. My predictions. Wisconsin, they're 7-3, and Nebraska, they're 3-7. Okay. Nebraska, I think they're pulling off a better team this year. So, Wisconsin, I feel like they're good. But Nebraska, they're still good. But Wisconsin, I feel like they're better. It's going to be a close one, though. So I got Wisconsin winning by 14, 35-21 for the Cornhuskers.
Okay, next game we have Kansas State taking on Baylor. Baylor, better team, pulling off the win versus Oklahoma last week. Very good. Line is even, so even line this week, and the over/under is 50 points. So, but I think Baylor is honestly the better team versus Kansas State. However, they are at Kansas State this year, but they're in Manhattan, Kansas. But I have Baylor coming into town and taking the dub. 32-17.
Okay. Baylor and Kansas State. Kansas State, Baylor heading down into Kansas that way in this country. Baylor, losing TCU, but winning versus Oklahoma, that really was a surprise. I predicted it, but okay. So, Kansas State, I feel like they're going to lose. They're not really the best team, but it's going to pull a close one on the clock. It's going to be 42, Baylor 42. No, Baylor 38, Kansas State 21.
Okay, for our final game, due to time constraints, we have Oregon taking on Utah. Utah 7-3, and while Oregon is 9-1. Utah is favored by 3 points in this game. Over under is 59. Players to watch here are Anthony Brown for Oregon, as their past quarterback guy, and then Travis Dye for Oregon as their running back, and then Brant Kuith, for Utah, receiving and catching passes. Kayvon Thibodeau's also one to watch. So, Oregon, pretty good this year, beating Ohio State, pretty good, but losing to Stanford, not really the best. It is in Salt Lake City in Utah, but I still think Oregon will come in and take the dub. The score will be, even though Utah's favorites, Oregon will win 29-20.
Okay, 29-20. He thinks Oregon will win. He's an amateur. Utah's gonna win. They're in their hometown. A lot of people are gonna be cheering at Salt Lake. Oregon, they suck. I do not like them.
The only guys. The only reason he doesn't like Oregon is because they beat Ohio State. Shut up.
Oregon lost to Stanford. We didn't lose to Stanford.
You never played Stanford.
Well, we wouldn't have lost to them. They suck, Stanford. And look at Oregon just lost to them. Like, what the heck? Utah is gonna win this game, even though they barely won versus Arizona last week. Well, it was a close one. But Utah, they're gonna take the W versus the Ducks. I think the Utah Utes are gonna win it. This one probably gonna be 38-35.
Okay, that is all of our games, guys. And JJ will tell
Thank
you
you.
for watching.
Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the comment button. Right on
If you want.
Yeah, if you want. Just do it.
Yeah.
So,
Just do it.
make sure that the subscribe button is gray, or people will get mad at you.
You don't want it.
Like, and subscribe, and let's go. See you guys next time.
Next time. Peace out.